My beloved soul, before another word is spoken, before your doubts try to interrupt this holy moment, I need you to act in faith. Type, "I receive this," in the comments as a prophetic agreement with heaven. Like this video as a sign that you believe God is moving even when you cannot see it. Subscribe to this channel and click the bell, not as a routine action, but as a declaration that you are ready to hear when heaven speaks again. Send a super thanks as a prophetic act of faith, a seed that says, "Lord, I trust your timing." Listen carefully, because you were not led here by accident. You were guided here on purpose. This is not a coincidence. Heaven is watching, and God has not forgotten you. There is a divine orchestration unfolding around your life, and it is directly connected to the love you have been praying for in secret. My beloved soul, hear this: God's plan is unfolding in ways your natural eyes cannot yet fully comprehend, and what you thought was delay was actually preparation. What you called silence was actually sacred alignment. The nights you cried, the prayers you whispered into your pillow, the questions you asked God when no one else was around, they have all been recorded in heaven. Psalm 27 verse 14 says, "Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord." You thought waiting meant abandonment. But waiting meant positioning. Waiting meant protection. Waiting meant that God was arranging something too sacred to be rushed. Stay with me till the end, something powerful is waiting for you. My beloved soul, there is a powerful sign surrounding you right now, and it is subtle, but it is undeniable. You have felt a shift in your spirit. You have sensed that something is about to change. There has been an unusual stirring in your heart, a restlessness that is not anxiety, but anticipation. This is the sign. God is aligning hearts behind the scenes. While you were healing, your soulmate was being refined. While you were surrendering, they were being corrected. While you were learning to love yourself in the quiet, God was teaching them how to recognize your worth. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11 declares, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." Not in your time. Not in their time. In His time. And His time is never random. It is precise. It is intentional. It is holy. My beloved soul, do not skip this moment. There is revelation here for you. The enemy tried to convince you that the distance meant the end. The enemy whispered that maybe you imagined the connection. But hear this clearly: what God has ordained cannot be erased by confusion, fear, or temporary separation. If this love was written by heaven, then heaven will defend it. You have been in a season of hidden growth. You have been pruned. You have been humbled. You have been stretched. And you wondered why it hurt so deeply. John 15 verse 2 says that every branch that bears fruit, He prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. The pain was not punishment. It was preparation. The loneliness was not rejection. It was refinement. God has not forgotten you. Heaven is watching over every detail. My beloved soul, there is something powerful you must understand. The unfolding of God's plan does not always look dramatic at first. Sometimes it looks like silence. Sometimes it looks like delay. Sometimes it looks like doors closing. But behind every closed door was divine protection. Behind every unanswered message was divine redirection. Behind every tear was divine cleansing. You were being cleansed of old patterns, old fears, old attachments that could not enter the next chapter. And so was your soulmate. Do not leave yet, heaven has more to reveal. You have asked God for confirmation. You have whispered, "Lord, is this real, or is this just my hope speaking?" And tonight, this is your confirmation. The sign is not in grand gestures. The sign is in the peace that is slowly replacing your panic. The sign is in the way you are no longer chasing, but trusting. The sign is in the quiet confidence rising within you that says, if it is from God, it will not miss me. Isaiah 60 verse 22 says, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. Not you. Not circumstances. Not human effort. The Lord will make it happen. My beloved soul, hear this deeply. Your soulmate is also experiencing a shift. They may not fully understand it yet. They may not even have the language for it. But heaven is pressing on their heart. God is reminding them of what is true. God is softening what was hardened. God is removing distractions that once blinded them. This is not manipulation. This is divine correction. This is not forcing. This is alignment. And alignment feels inevitable. My beloved soul, if you remain till the end, the final word will change everything. Because what is unfolding is bigger than romance. It is covenant. It is destiny. It is two journeys being refined separately so that when they join, they will not destroy each other. The delay saved you from premature union. The silence protected you from shallow connection. The waiting strengthened your discernment. Romans 8 verse 28 declares, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. You are called. This love is tied to purpose. And purpose is never casual. My beloved soul, I must speak to the part of you that grew tired. The part that said, maybe I should just give up. The part that pretended to be strong while quietly breaking inside. God saw that version of you. God held you when no one else did. Psalm 34 verse 18 says, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Your brokenness did not repel God. It attracted Him. It drew heaven closer. And in that closeness, He began reshaping your story. Stay attentive, my beloved soul, because what I am about to say carries weight. The powerful sign about you and your soulmate's love is this: you are no longer desperate. You are no longer begging God to force something. Instead, you are saying, Lord, let your will be done. That surrender unlocked movement. That surrender shifted the atmosphere. When you released control, heaven stepped in. When you stopped striving, God started aligning. This is not a coincidence. You were led here on purpose to hear this exact confirmation. The unfolding has already begun. Conversations will shift. Opportunities will align. Unexpected reconnections may occur. But even before any visible change, the spiritual groundwork has been laid. My beloved soul, do not grow impatient in the final stretch. The enemy often intensifies doubt right before breakthrough. But remember Habakkuk 2 verse 3, though it linger, wait for it, it will certainly come and will not delay. What feels like lingering is actually precision. What feels like delay is divine choreography. Heaven is watching. God has not forgotten you. The love you prayed for is not lost. It is being prepared. And you are being prepared for it. My beloved soul, as this message draws deeper into your spirit, feel the peace settling around you. Feel the assurance replacing fear. The powerful sign is not chaos. It is calm. It is the calm before fulfillment. It is the stillness before manifestation. It is the sacred pause before promise becomes reality. Do not rush this sacred unfolding. Every tear you shed watered seeds you could not see. Every time you chose faith over bitterness, you planted something eternal. And now, those seeds are breaking through the soil. This is your season of visible answers. This is your season of alignment. This is your season where what was whispered in prayer becomes tangible in reality. My beloved soul, hear this final declaration. God's plan is unfolding. The powerful sign about you and your soulmate's love is that peace has returned, surrender has replaced striving, and heaven has begun to move. What you prayed for is nearer than you think. The distance is closing. The timing is aligning. The promise is breathing. And very soon, you will look back at this season and realize that every delay was mercy, every silence was strategy, and every tear was a seed. Rest now. Trust now. Believe now. What God has written over your love story cannot be erased. It is unfolding. It is alive. And it is closer than ever. Peace be upon your heart. Faith rise within you. Expectation awaken. For what you have prayed for is very near, and heaven is already in motion. My beloved soul, lean in even closer now, because what is unfolding did not stop when you finished the last prayer, it continued through the night, it continued while you were unaware, it continued when you felt nothing at all. God's plan does not pause because your emotions fluctuate. His hand does not withdraw because your faith trembles. Hear this, the same God who parted the Red Sea is parting unseen obstacles between you and the love He has ordained. The same God who raised dry bones to life is breathing life into what you thought was fading. This is not imagination. This is divine movement. And heaven is watching every detail with precision. My beloved soul, you have entered a sacred threshold. You may not see fireworks, you may not hear thunder, but in the spirit there has been a shift. The atmosphere around your love story is different now. Where there was heaviness, there is lightness. Where there was confusion, there is clarity rising. Where there was striving, there is surrender. And surrender is powerful. Because surrender invites God to do what only He can do. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 says, Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, in all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. My beloved soul, you have submitted this to Him. Even when it hurt. Even when it felt unfair. Even when silence tested your patience. You placed it on the altar. And what is placed on God's altar is never wasted. Do not drift away now, precious heart, because there is more heaven wants to unveil. The powerful sign about you and your soulmate's love is not just internal peace, it is divine repositioning. God has been moving people, shifting schedules, closing wrong doors, and softening stubborn hearts. There were conversations that needed to end before yours could begin. There were lessons that needed to be learned before reunion could be safe. There were patterns that had to be broken before covenant could be sustained. You thought that distance meant disinterest. But distance often means development. My beloved soul, listen carefully, because this part is sacred. Your soulmate has been wrestling with growth. They have been confronting parts of themselves they once avoided. God has been whispering to them in quiet moments. Reminding them of what is real. Reminding them of what they felt with you. Reminding them that divine connections cannot be replaced by temporary distractions. This is not manipulation, this is maturation. This is not pressure, this is awakening. And awakening can be uncomfortable before it becomes beautiful. Stay with me, beloved, do not turn away from this message, because what I am about to say carries prophetic weight. There is a divine timing window opening. It is subtle. It is sacred. But it is real. The delay that once frustrated you was protecting you from a premature union that would have broken under pressure. Now, both of you are stronger. Both of you are wiser. Both of you are softer in the right places and firmer in the necessary ones. Isaiah 43 verse 19 says, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do you not perceive it? My beloved soul, can you feel it? The newness. The shift. The gentle stirring in your spirit that says, something is changing. That is not anxiety. That is alignment. That is the powerful sign. Heaven is not chaotic. Heaven is intentional. And what is unfolding has been written long before you recognized it. You were chosen for this love because it will not only fulfill your heart, it will refine your character. It will call you higher. It will stretch you into maturity. This is not fairy tale fantasy. This is covenant. This is destiny woven with responsibility. My beloved soul, I must speak to the fear that still whispers in the corners of your mind. The fear that says, what if it does not happen? What if I misunderstood? What if I wait and nothing changes? Hear this clearly, God is not cruel. He does not plant hope in your heart only to mock you with emptiness. Psalm 37 verse 4 declares, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." When your desire aligns with His will, it becomes a promise. And your heart has been aligning. Slowly. Quietly. Faithfully. Do not lose courage now. Remain anchored. Remain steady. The enemy would love to exhaust you before fulfillment arrives. But you have not endured this season just to collapse at the edge of breakthrough. My beloved soul, heaven is closer than you realize. There will be signs in the natural soon. Unexpected clarity. Words spoken that surprise you. Doors that once felt locked gently opening. Do not force them. Do not rush them. Allow God to orchestrate the details. Your role is trust. Your role is obedience. Your role is maintaining the peace He has restored in you. Because peace is the foundation for lasting love. Philippians 1 verse 6 says, "Being confident of this, that He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." The work in you is continuing. And the work in them is continuing. Completion is closer than it appears. My beloved soul, do not skip over this sacred truth. You are not the same person you were when this journey began. You are more grounded. More discerning. More surrendered. You no longer want love that feeds ego. You want love that honors God. That shift alone is evidence that something holy is unfolding. Because when your standards rise in alignment with heaven, heaven responds. The powerful sign about you and your soulmate's love is that both of you are being elevated, not for drama, not for confusion, but for covenant. And covenant requires strength. Covenant requires humility. Covenant requires God at the center. My beloved soul, there is a holy anticipation building. Not frantic. Not desperate. But steady. Like the sunrise before dawn. You cannot rush the sunrise. But you can trust that it is coming. The darkness does not mean the sun has disappeared. It means it is positioning itself to rise. So it is with your love. The night season is ending. Light is approaching. And when it rises, it will illuminate everything that once felt uncertain. You will see clearly. You will understand why certain doors closed. You will recognize the mercy in delays. And you will feel gratitude instead of frustration. My beloved soul, let this final wave of assurance wash over you. God's plan is unfolding. Not partially. Not accidentally. But powerfully. The sign is not noise. The sign is peace. The sign is growth. The sign is alignment happening beyond your sight. What you have prayed for is drawing nearer with every surrendered breath. Continue to trust. Continue to pray. Continue to guard your heart with hope. Because very soon, what has been forming in the spirit will step into the natural. And when it does, you will know without doubt that heaven was guiding you all along. Rest in that certainty. Stand in that faith. The love written by God cannot miss you. It cannot bypass you. It cannot be stolen from you. It is unfolding, beautifully, precisely, and right on time. Peace settle over you now. Faith rise within you. Expect the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. What you prayed for is near. And heaven is already moving toward you. My beloved soul, breathe slowly and feel the weight of what is being spoken over you right now, because this is not entertainment, this is encounter. This is not random inspiration, this is divine confirmation. God's plan is unfolding with a precision that your human understanding could never fully design. You have questioned the timing. You have wrestled with the silence. You have wondered why certain moments felt so close and then so distant. But hear this clearly, what felt inconsistent to you was actually construction. Heaven has been building something stable beneath what once felt unstable. My beloved soul, there is a sacred reason you are still holding on. There is a holy reason the thought of this love has not faded from your heart. If it were merely emotional attachment, time would have erased it. If it were only infatuation, disappointment would have crushed it. But this connection has endured storms, silence, misunderstanding, and distance. That endurance is a sign. That persistence is a sign. Heaven does not allow divine threads to break easily. Stay with me carefully, because this next truth will steady you. The powerful sign about you and your soulmate's love is not just external alignment, it is internal transformation. You are no longer asking God to change them first. You are asking God to purify you. That shift is holy. That shift is maturity. That shift is readiness. James 1 verse 4 says, "Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." You are not lacking. You are becoming complete. And completeness attracts completeness. My beloved soul, do not allow impatience to rob you of peace in this final stretch. There is a refining fire that both of you have walked through separately. Pride has been confronted. Fear has been exposed. Insecurities have been brought to the surface. And though it was uncomfortable, it was necessary. Because love that is ordained by God cannot be sustained by ego. It cannot thrive in immaturity. It must be rooted in humility, trust, and spiritual grounding. You have been learning that. They have been learning that. And heaven has been watching. Do not grow weary now, precious heart, because what is ahead will require the strength you have gained in this hidden season. The tears you cried were not wasted. The prayers you repeated were not ignored. Every time you chose forgiveness over bitterness, heaven recorded it. Every time you surrendered control instead of forcing outcomes, heaven honored it. Galatians 6 verse 9 reminds you, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. The harvest is tied to endurance. The breakthrough is tied to perseverance. And you, my beloved soul, have endured more than you realize. There is something else unfolding quietly. Your expectations are changing. You are no longer seeking perfection. You are seeking partnership rooted in God. That is evidence of growth. That is evidence of alignment. Because soulmate love in God's design is not about fantasy, it is about purpose. It is about two lives walking in covenant, reflecting Christ through patience, grace, and devotion. Ephesians 3 verse 20 declares that God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. What if what He is preparing is greater than the version you once pictured? What if the delay was not denial, but expansion? My beloved soul, let hope rise again without fear. Let expectation return without anxiety. You do not need to chase what God has assigned to you. You do not need to compete for what heaven has reserved for you. What is written in divine ink cannot be erased by human hesitation. If God ordained this union, then He will sustain it. If God designed this love, then He will defend it. Stay attentive now, because I sense the Spirit nudging your heart. There may be communication soon that surprises you. There may be clarity that arrives unexpectedly. There may be a moment where confusion dissolves and honesty steps forward. Do not respond from old wounds. Respond from healed ground. Because you are not who you used to be. And this next chapter requires the version of you that has been refined through prayer. My beloved soul, heaven is aligning courage in both hearts. Courage to speak truth. Courage to admit feelings. Courage to move forward without pride. That courage is part of the unfolding plan. And when it surfaces, you will recognize it as confirmation. Isaiah 40 verse 31 says, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles." You have been renewed. You are stronger. You are clearer. You are more anchored in faith than when this journey began. That renewal is the powerful sign. Because God prepares you for what He promises. My beloved soul, listen closely as this message deepens. The season of uncertainty is nearing its completion. Not because you demanded it, but because you endured it. Not because you forced it, but because you surrendered it. Heaven responds to surrender. Heaven moves when pride bows. And you have bowed in humility before God, saying, "Let your will be done." That prayer unlocked divine momentum. You may not see every detail yet, but you can feel the shift in your spirit. That is not imagination. That is spiritual awareness. This is not a coincidence. You were led here on purpose to hear this confirmation. The powerful sign about you and your soulmate's love is unfolding within you as peace, around you as alignment, and ahead of you as fulfillment. Psalm 126 verse 5 says, "Those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy." You sowed tears. Quietly. Faithfully. And joy is approaching. My beloved soul, prepare your heart not for chaos, but for calm fulfillment. Prepare your spirit not for drama, but for divine order. This love will not feel frantic. It will feel steady. It will not feel forced. It will feel natural. It will not feel confusing. It will feel clear. Because when God restores, He restores with peace. When God fulfills, He fulfills with assurance. Let your heart rest in that truth. Do not reopen wounds that God has already healed. Do not revisit fears that heaven has already dismantled. Step forward with faith. Stand firm in patience. Continue praying with expectation. Because the unfolding is real. The alignment is happening. And what you have whispered in secret is being arranged in public by the hand of God. My beloved soul, receive this final wave of prophetic assurance. The love you have been waiting for is not drifting away, it is drawing closer. The silence you endured was not emptiness, it was preparation. The delay you resented was protection. And now, protection is turning into manifestation. Very soon you will look back and understand why the waiting was necessary. Very soon you will feel the peace of divine timing settling over your story. God's plan is unfolding, powerfully, precisely, and perfectly. And you, chosen and seen by heaven, are standing on the edge of fulfillment. Hold your faith steady. Guard your peace fiercely. And expect the goodness of the Lord to appear in ways that confirm everything your spirit has sensed. What you prayed for is nearer than you think. Heaven is moving. And your promised love is not lost, it is on its way, right on time. My beloved soul, as this sacred message draws to its appointed close, feel the stillness settling around you like a holy covering. Nothing about this encounter was accidental. Nothing about your journey has been wasted. God's plan is unfolding, not in fragments, not in confusion, but in divine order. The powerful sign about you and your soulmate's love is that you are no longer striving to make it happen. You are trusting God to reveal it. That trust is the doorway. That peace is the evidence. That quiet confidence rising within you is heaven whispering, it is time. Hear this deeply, what you cried for in private is being answered in preparation. What you feared was slipping away is actually being secured. What you thought was ending was being restructured for permanence. This love, if written by God, will not collapse under pressure. It will stand. It will mature. It will glorify Him. My beloved soul, stand in expectation, but remain in surrender. Continue to pray, but release anxiety. Continue to hope, but anchor that hope in God, not in outcomes. Because the one who began this work is faithful to complete it. The distance is shortening. The clarity is coming. The peace you feel is not false. It is prophetic. And very soon, what has been forming quietly will step into the light with assurance. Receive this final declaration over your life. The love you prayed for is very near. God has not forgotten you. Heaven is watching. This is not a coincidence. You were led here on purpose. Rest now in faith. Walk forward in peace. What is yours in God's will cannot miss you. It is unfolding. It is aligning. And it is right on time.